Hi, welcome to Decoded Dialogues, where tech talks and stories spark transformation. This is the podcast where we unpack the future of tech, one conversation at a time. I'm your host, Crystal Fernandez, and in each episode, we dive into the intersection of tech, artificial intelligence, human intervention, and the evolving landscape of business strategies. Whether you're a tech leader, a finance innovator, or just curious about how data is reshaping decision-making, you're in the right place. Let's decode what's next. I'm thrilled to welcome today's guest, Stuart Massey. Let's start with the basics. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and how you began working with Oracle and Perficient.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Crystal. I'm really excited to be part of your program. My name's Stuart Massey. I'm a principal in Perficient's Oracle ERP business unit. I'm based in Dallas, Texas. I've been in this space now for 25 years, been part of this practice for 25 years. I have a background from an educational perspective in finance and accounting. And 25 years ago, when ERP was first kind of coming out, there's a lot of opportunity for people with those kinds of backgrounds to get into consultancies that were implementing those solutions. I started my career as a hands-on financials consultant, implementing applications within that suite on the Oracle Business Suite platform, which is the kind of legacy on-prem platform. Today, as a principal in our organization, I've kind of moved through different roles. My main role these days is supporting, business development, sales and marketing, helping the company with strategy, looking at what the innovations are that are coming out with the platform. How do we gear up for that? How do we build services around it? And then I also spend a lot of time working with customers on helping them build their roadmap, their strategies, and so forth.
So that is a fantastic career. Can you just briefly explain for our listeners who maybe are not familiar with Oracle ERP and how it's evolved over the past few years? Can you kind of give us a little bit of information about that?
Sure. So ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. It's essentially the applications you need that companies need to run their operations, right? And if you think about, the operational needs of customers, it's everything from finance and accounting, possibly supply chain management, manufacturing, human capital management, so HR payroll type systems. There's tax, there's treasury. It all depends on the customer's business and their industry, what is actually needed. But that platform, Oracle's ERP platforms are essentially a fully integrated system where all these applications and processes talk to each other, right? So most of our customers are fairly large. They have very global operations, very dynamic needs from an operational perspective, and they run these solutions to manage those needs.
What do you think has driven the most significant changes? Technology, user demand, industry shifts? Like, what do you think has defined the landscape?
Well, I think I would say the last 15 years of my career have probably had the most innovative events. 15 years ago, Oracle came out with their cloud-based platform, right, which is a SaaS platform called Fusion.
Right.
That was very monumental in terms of changing the industry. Up until that point, ERP platforms were on-prem. They were on traditional servers, either at a data center or at a client's location. The advent of cloud-based solutions really forced these customers to migrate and take advantages of that. And the advantages of being on a cloud-based platform is, first and foremost, it's an opportunity for customers to decustomize. Traditionally, on-premise platforms were heavily customized. That required a lot of development, very costly. You had to maintain those customizations. If you ever did an upgrade of the platform, you had to go rework those customizations. So it was an opportunity for customers to really decustomize by going to the cloud. Secondly, it was an opportunity for these companies that have been running on-premise solutions for 20 plus years to simplify their operations and take advantage of new features, new functionality that are only available in the cloud. And we're going to talk a lot today about artificial intelligence, machine learning, a lot of innovative stuff that Oracle's brought out in recent years. An opportunity for customers to really transform their business processes, right? So they wanted to streamline their processes. They wanted to modernize their processes. They want to take this as an opportunity to improve their operating efficiencies. And so, reducing maintenance, very costly areas of maintenance and hardware and things of that nature, but also looking to improve their business processes and get an ROI from that as well. And then I think beyond that, from a cloud perspective, it gave users and customers and suppliers a much better user experience, right? A much more modern interface that is available. So that has really driven our business a lot. We still have customers who run on-premise solutions, and we're helping them build the strategy and the roadmap to move to the cloud to take advantage of new technology. And I would say the second most second most compelling event that's happened just recently is really the release of artificial intelligence, machine learning, things of that nature that are embedded in the Oracle Fusion platform. And this is probably the most monumental event that we've had in our practice because we're drinking from a fire hose. This is being released extremely quickly by Oracle.
Right.
Our customers are trying to get ahead of it and understand it. A lot of our customers who run the Fusion cloud-based platform don't really know where to start with AI. What are their use cases? Which one should I pick for my business where I can get an ROI? So everyone's drinking from this fire hose right now. We're getting our consultants ramped up on the capabilities of AI within Oracle, but trying to stay ahead of Oracle's roadmap. We have Oracle's big conference coming up, which is called AI World in a couple of weeks here. There'll be a lot of new releases around AI at that point in time. So I would say that's probably the most monumental event that we've had within our practice. We're getting our resources educated on it, how to implement it, how to manage it. And our resources are going through certifications right now. And more importantly, we're having conversations with customers to identify what's relevant to them in terms of their use cases.
So on that note, why do you think ERP systems are still critical in today's business environment?
Well, I mean, every company needs a system to run their processes, right?
Yeah.
Again, whether it's finance and accounting, you've got to go close the books. Whether you're a supply chain
Hmm.
management, manufacturing type entity, or you use HR payroll, things of that nature, all companies have to have, those platforms, whether it be Oracle
Sure.
or not non-Oracle. I think what's more critical today is, again, the advent of modern technology, innovative technology, AI,
Hmm.
machine learning, robotics, things of that nature. There's much more emphasis on ERP to gain operating efficiencies. How can I take advantage of these compelling functionality and actually improve my business? So we have a lot of customers that are coming to us and saying, "Hey, this area of our business is very complex. It's very time consuming. It's error prone. How can I leverage something like AI to improve it?" We have customers that are trying to repurpose headcount because they have like a heavy, maybe a collections team or a month-end close team. How can I leverage
Hmm.
AI to repurpose these resources and maybe speeding those processes? So I would say ERP is even more critical today. I think if you look back 25, 30 years, it was more of a kind of a must-have. I have to have an ERP platform. I have to be able to run my business on applications. And now it's much more transformational in nature because of these new technologies.
So are there any misconceptions about ERP systems that you often see or encounter?
Yeah, I would say more so with the on-premise solutions. I mean, I think
Hmm.
the belief from customers was, well, again, I have to have something, but it's extremely expensive. There's not a ton of benefit to me in terms of true ROI and things of that nature on those clunky on-premise platforms. So, expensive to upgrade, expensive to maintain. I have to have a large
Hmm.
internal support team to maintain it. I've got to have external consultants coming in here and telling me, that that I need to upgrade it or optimize it, or if I make an acquisition, I got to bring expensive people to come in and do it. These days, I think those conceptions are misplaced. And I think it's more
Hmm.
because, again, with the new cloud based platform, I think businesses look at it and say, wow, there's amazing technology in here that I can leverage to truly improve my operations, right? And get a ton of benefit, again, going back to AI and machine learning, robotics. So I think it's viewed a lot differently these days with cloud based platforms and the embedded technology that's in these platforms, right? And Oracle has a big advantage over its competitors right now because it's very ahead on the AI game. You can tell by their stock.
Hmm.
And they
Hmm.
embed all of this functionality of AI, machine learning, robotics is all embedded in their platform, right? So if you're a customer and you buy cloud-based Fusion platform, you get all that for the same price. You don't have to go out and buy additional applications or
Hmm.
bolt-ons to do AI. So it's all embedded within that platform. And I think for that reason, businesses look at Fusion, its capabilities, and say, this is an opportunity for us to really transform my business and improve it. And I think, in some cases, it gives them a competitive advantage over their competitors because they can do things better and faster.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now that you've set the stage here and brought it up a few times, let's dig into what is the most exciting innovation right now. And I know we're going to talk about AI Agent Studio, and so let's dive into that and what is happening in the marketplace right now with that.
Well, there's a lot going on. I mean, AI for Oracle's been out for, I mean, machine learning probably, many years. But I think the
Yeah.
release of what Oracle's promoting now, especially around AI, is fast and furious. And
Yeah.
everyone is trying to understand it, Where do I start? What's my roadmap if I'm a customer? We went to the innovation lab, Oracle's innovation lab in the Chicago area a few months ago, and it's
Hmm.
essentially a place where partners and customers can go to see all of the amazing innovation that they have in their platform. We went into this building that had all kinds of demos. We saw robotics, we saw, drones going out and doing cycle counts of inventory. There was robotics that were coming along and replenish inventory locations in this, and it's all driven by their ERP platform. And so that technology is just incredibly advanced and is coming out
Hmm.
fast and furious. And our customers are looking at this and saying, okay, what aspects, what areas of this can I adopt to improve my business, repurpose headcount, you know, move faster operationally. And so I think that really is the kind of innovation that is just very much at the forefront right now. And the
Yeah.
fact that they've renamed their conference from Cloud World to AI World tells you that
Right.
that's front and center, right? It's the
Yeah.
artificial intelligence, and again, it's giving Oracle a very big competitive advantage because they're further along and it's all embedded in their platform.
Right. And did they just signed a partnership with OpenAI, right?
Yes, they did.
They signed a $300 billion deal with them.
Right.
So I mean, I think that's absolutely going to help them in this race, correct?
Correct. They're fully invested in it. And what's really interesting is that, everyone's talking about AI, right? Whether it's ERP related
Yeah.
or it's not. Even my kids talk about AI. And I
Right.
think if you want to get to AI though, you've got to move into their Fusion platform, right? You've got to be cloud based. So what we're seeing now with our on-premise customers, our legacy customers that run Oracle E-Business Suite, um, their original kind of pushback was like, we don't have the energy right now for this to move to cloud. We don't have the dollars maybe. But now the AI element of this is almost like a fear of missing out, right? They're
Right.
saying, oh my gosh, our competitors are getting all this access to AI through cloud-based ERP. It's giving them a competitive advantage. We need to move quicker, right? We need to get to Fusion, get in the cloud, and take advantage of all this AI, machine learning, robotics, things of that nature. So um, it's really becoming a compelling event for customers to first improve their business by moving to,
Hmm.
a cloud-based platform.
What do you see happening and evolving in the ERP space? I would say over the next 5, 10 years, maybe even sooner. What do you think is the picture?
Well, I think the big picture really is you're just going to see more and more of it, right? I mean, they're releasing it very, very
Hmm.
quickly. There's a lot more in the area of things like robotics or smart operations for supply chain manufacturing. I think supply chain manufacturing companies probably have the most compelling reason to do it. I read a statistic the other day that 93%, I think it was, something like that, of manufacturing companies are already using some element of AI. If you think about supply chain manufacturing operations, there's so many opportunities to improve your business in those areas, whether you're using
Hmm.
robots to do, inventory replenishments or moving inventory around a warehouse, whether you're using AI to automate where you should, store inventory or put inventory away.
Hmm.
Robotics. We were at a client just 2 days ago that manufactures nutritional products. So they're a recipe-based company essentially, and they're already using robotics in their manufacturing facility to move materials into manufacturing
Uh,
operations. They're using it to use cycle counts. They're using AI to essentially generate purchase requisitions automatically. I really think the biggest area of focus right now for customers who have access to AI, right, through cloud-based platforms, is the ability to automate processes without any
hmm.
human intervention, right? Examples of that, we have a client who we just implemented an auto requisition process for, where an employee, let's say an employee's buying a new PC for their company, they can essentially go into a chat bot and say, I need to buy a PC. The chat bot tells you, here are the three options of PCs that you can buy. You select one, and then the agent behind the scene automatically creates that requisition versus someone having to go into a form and key out a requisition, right? So there's been
Right.
a ton of opportunity around these new AI agents that Oracle's releasing. I believe there's 70 plus agents on the market today embedded in their platform, and there's just many, many more to come. They're releasing them very aggressively every quarter, and our customers, with our advice, are sitting down and saying, okay, here's the next set of AI agents coming out. Which ones are relevant to my business? Which ones can I leverage to truly improve operations? We have a customer that we're doing an assessment for right now that is very heavy in the cash application collections area, right? So they have
Hmm.
130 resources who do nothing but apply cash from customer payments and then do collections. 130 people, right? They look at that and say, hey, we need to cut this team in half repurpose these resources to do other things. We're very heavy in that area. So we're doing an assessment now to where we're going to leverage AI to automate a lot of those processes. So one example of that would be to leverage a chatbot to reach out to a customer when an invoice is past due, right? We're going to use another AI agent to automate the application of payments coming out of bank lockboxes to those customer invoices. And so we've got a laundry list of improvements that we're proposing. Some of it's embedded functionality, some of it's AI, and some of it's other technology. And so, again, our focus right now on our customers who have access to AI is really helping them understand their use cases and then how do they deploy it. And the next thing we'll talk about, I'm sure, with the AI Agent Studio is how they manage it, right? You have to manage these agents. You've got to have,
Right.
hard testing guidelines around it. You've got to evolve them and so forth. So that's a critical piece to this as well. The other thing I'll say about that is you also need to understand on the back end what this agent's doing. You've probably seen some stories recently about issues with agents getting bad information.
Right.
We have a customer who was going to use AI for recruiting. And then they took a very close look at what this agent was doing and found out that there was kind of compliance issues with it, right? And so they
Right.
ended up abandoning that project. So you've really got to understand what the agent's doing as well, how you're going to manage it after you identify what those use cases are.
Let's talk a little bit about how they're getting to this, right? So how are they utilizing AI? You mentioned earlier that it's not bolted on, it's integrated. Let's talk about that a little bit. What are they having to do to get to it, really,
What
essentially?
are customers having to do to get there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I kind of view it as kind of there's three buckets to it from an Oracle ERP perspective. Again, I'm talking about the Fusion platform, cloud-based platform.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You've got
Mm-hmm.
embedded AI into the application.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you an example of that. And it's been around for a while. AP invoice scanning, right, which is machine learning and AI. And again, it evolves. It gets better and better. A
Yeah.
lot of our customers use it. That's machine learning. It's been out for a while now. That's embedded as an embedded feature of the application that you just turn on. Beyond that, this is where the AI Agent Studio comes into place, is you have 70, as of now, this minute, 70 plus agents, AI agents, that do certain functions, right? You may
Mm-hmm.
have an agent
Right.
that can automatically create a sales order for a customer. You may have an agent that can automatically create a purchase requisition, right? There's AI agents that will essentially enforce return policies. We have a customer right now who just deployed a solution where when a customer service rep keys in a return from a customer, the AI agent will take a look to see if that return is in policy, based on the return policy of the company.
Yeah.
So you've got you get the embedded pieces, then you got the AI agents that you can then essentially turn on, and then you got the AI Agent Studio. Those are the three prongs. Now, the AI Agent Studio is a repository of where these AI agents live, right? It's where you
Right.
go
Right.
to enable these AI agents and turn them on. It's where you go to manage them. It's where you go to test them. And then beyond that, you have the ability with these AI agents to extend them, right? So an AI agent has a template out of the box and it does this function. I can then extend it to do it a little bit differently, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so those really are the three buckets: the embedded stuff that you essentially just implement, the AI agents, which you choose to turn on, the ones that are relevant to you, as well as extend, and the AI Agent Studio is where the AI agents live.
What's the learning curve here? What do you think's the
Well,
biggest challenge for
yeah,
organizations?
it's a really good question. I think there's different aspects to it, right? I think, the
Sure.
first learning curve is more of the educational piece, right?
Yeah.
I need to understand how this works, whether it be embedded AI agents, AI Agent Studio. We're spending a lot of time with our customers these days who run the cloud-based Fusion platform on what
Mm-hmm.
AI truly is. What are the capabilities of Oracle? We were in New York City 3 weeks ago with a very large customer of ours, and we did a workshop. We spent a day walking them through what's embedded in the application in the platform. What are the AI
Mm-hmm.
agents that exist today? How are they managed? How are they deployed? And then we spent a lot of time with them developing their use cases. So you have the educational piece of this, just understanding what's available and how it works. Then
Mm-hmm.
you take a step back and say, for my business, my operations, what are my best use cases? Right? I'm not going to go turn it all on at once. What's my roadmap? Where do I start? What
Right.
processes do I have internally that if I leverage AI, I can drastically improve and get a true ROI, right? So we spent a lot of time with this customer in New York City going through what their roadmap should be. The third bucket again is how do I deploy it and how do I manage it, which is where the AI Agent Studio comes into play. So, but it's evolving so fast. Oracle's releasing so many AI agents every quarter. You've really got to be on top of it. That's why attending the webinars that Oracle offers, going through their certification processes, their training processes, understanding their roadmap, meeting with Oracle and talking about it,
Hmm.
going to their conference, AI World, in a few weeks in Las Vegas, and learning more about it. So our customers are trying to stay ahead of it. They're trying to get their resources, just like us, certified on how to manage them, build them, extend them, and so forth. And there's a lot of activity around that, right? I mean, there's a lot of training out there that Oracle offers that our customers as well as our consultants are going to get certified up on it. But it's a very complex process. I mean, it's educational, it's identifying your use cases, but then you've really got to understand what these AI agents are doing behind the scenes, right? You want to make
Hmm.
sure that they're in compliance, they're not violating some of your policies. You need to understand what they're truly doing and could any of that be flawed? You need to test them and so forth. And then more importantly, you have to manage them going forward, right? They're gonna naturally evolve over time. You've got to refine them, make them even better. So there really is a lot of focus on just managing those agents, refining them, and of course deploying them over time, over the course of a roadmap that's based on your priority of processes.
So what I'm hearing, it's really important to really be on top of your change management, right?
Yes, absolutely.
To train and keep your employees like up to speed on what's happening. And also, it sounds like non-technical users can use this, but you want to make sure that you constantly keep a human in the loop to ensure that what the AI agent is doing is what it's supposed to be doing, correct?
That is correct. That's a good question. So
All
there's
right.
definitely, you're right.
Yeah.
There's definitely a big change management aspect to this, right? So I'll give you an
Yeah.
example. If I'm an organization that's used to, buyers going in and creating purchase orders, and then all of a sudden I have AI agents going in there and behind the scenes with no human intervention doing that, obviously there's a change to process there, right? There's a change to roles and
Sure.
responsibilities that has to be addressed from a change management perspective. In terms of the skill sets needed to manage them, you use the word functional, which are more business kind of leads, people like that. They can
Sure.
definitely manage the embedded AI. They can go to the AI agent studio and they can enable AI agents to do it. The technical aspect comes into place when you have to extend them, right? So if you have an AI agent that like automatically creates a return, based on a certain condition, right?
Sure.
Then you like the way it works out of the box, but you want it to tweak it a little bit more to do it just a little bit differently. And that's where you have more of a technical resource come in, like a developer, um, to modify it, right? So various
Yeah.
skill sets, across the board, starting with the business to identify those use cases, start with functional resources, architects, things of that nature, who can then, turn them on, test them, deploy them, support it from a change management perspective, and then possibly technical resources to extend them.
As we look ahead, what do you think is the most important, most critical thing for businesses to be thinking about right now in this space?
From an ERP perspective,
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
I think, as I mentioned earlier, I think, first and foremost, you've got to be in a platform that can give you all this technology, all this innovation, right? Oracle's obviously
Hmm.
investing all of this, their R&D and their innovations into cloud-based platforms. So customers, I think this has become a very compelling event for customers who are still running antiquated on-premise ERP platforms, whether it be Oracle or non-Oracle, to move to the cloud. You've got to get in front of this technology, right? There's
Hmm.
a fear of missing out, right? You're going to be left behind. And these things can
Some
really,
FOMO, sure.
yeah, exactly. And these things can give you a competitive advantage. You've got to get there. So I think that's a bucket of it. I think that the second activity, compelling activity, to my point earlier, is understanding all this modern technology, whether it be AI, machine learning, robotics, understanding the new Redwood features of Oracle, the user experience, which really has to be done in order to get some of this AI as well, I should say.
Hmm.
So I think educating customers, getting educated on it, what are my use cases for my business? How do I deploy it? How do I extend it? How do I manage it? Things of that nature. I mean, we have a lot of our clients going to AI World this year because they want to learn so much more about it. I've got
Right.
senior people, vice presidents, and my customers personally getting involved in understanding how they leverage more AI. They have mandates from their upper leadership to reduce expenses, promote operating efficiencies, right? Everything from using AI to automate the month-end close process, halving your month-end close process by leveraging AI. We've seen so many compelling use cases by customers that want to leverage things like AI for it. The other area that I haven't spoken too much about is beyond AI. There's robotics and machine learning. There's smart operations, which really do
Hmm.
apply a lot to our supply chain manufacturing customers, automating warehouses and things of that nature, material movements, manufacturing, things of that nature as well. So there's just so much new technology that has come out so fast, and it's
Yeah.
evolving. I mean, every day we learn something new that's coming out. We've looked at non-Oracle AI platforms for some customers that want to leverage it and have it integrated for various reasons. There's just so much out there. There's obviously a lot of new AI companies popping up, a lot of big investments
Mm-hmm.
in the more established ones, like companies like
Right.
Oracle. And so it's a very fast-moving landscape right now that you've just got to keep up with.
Yeah. So if you had one piece of advice to organizations considering a move to Oracle ERP right now, and obviously the AI piece is driving that, right?
Mhm.
What would you tell them to consider right at this moment?
From an Oracle or even just the ERP
Yeah,
perspective.
an organization looking to move into Oracle ERP. What's the one piece of advice you'd give them right now?
Well, I mean, first of all, it needs to be cloud-based, right? So if you look at ERP
Mm-hmm.
companies, all of their investments are going to their cloud-based platforms, right? They're not going into the old antiquated ERP on-premise platform.
Sure,
So I think
sure.
being committed to cloud-based platforms, I think, evaluating those platforms carefully based on your industry, right? And some platforms
Mm-hmm.
cater better to other industries. Oracle has
Absolutely.
an advantage because it's very compelling across all industries. So I
Mm-hmm.
think you've got to look at that. I think you got to look at the ERP vendors' roadmap. Where are they investing their R&D dollars? Are they truly putting it into innovative features, functionality? Are they partnered with other large companies to leverage their skill sets and their abilities to improve their ERP platforms? I think you've really got to look at the ERP landscape around it, right? I'm a
Yeah.
big believer in checking industry references, speaking to other customers who run that particular platform and seeing, what their experience has been. Have there been any gaps? Have there been anything that they had to kind of fill from a functionality perspective that it didn't do
Mm-hmm.
well? I think integrations are also very critical, right? I mean, most of our customers run multiple platforms.
Right.
There's a need for integrations. What's the ability for me to easily integrate, with these other systems? I think the user
Do they
experience.
play well with others, right?
Exactly. You want to make sure because there's always going to be integration points. I think the user experience is
Right.
also very critical, right?
Absolutely.
How intuitive is the system for my users? What are the change management aspects of all that? I think that also comes into play. Um, so those are the key things that I would be focused on if I was a company evaluating a new ERP platform.
So if you had to summarize Oracle's vision of ERP and AI just in one sentence, what would you say that to that?
I would say that I think I think Oracle provides the ability to create a very modern, autonomous platform that could give you as a customer a competitive advantage, whether it be through process improvements, accuracy, and speed, right? And I think that's what our customers are really, really focused on right now. With AI, machine learning, robotics, there's just so much opportunity to improve their business. And so I would say, that's kind of how I would characterize it.
So if our listeners are interested, where could they go to learn more and get started with Oracle ERP, AI Agent Studio? Who do they reach out to at Perficient? Tell me about that.
Well, I think from an Oracle perspective, Oracle has done an incredible job, absolutely incredible job of providing a lot of materials, through their website. They
Right.
promote a lot of webinars on their cloud-based solution and AI. They've been very engaging with our existing customers, being willing to spend time with them and really talk to them about their AI capabilities and their roadmap,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's a lot of training on the Oracle website, a lot of certifications that you can
Right.
do. They have a lot of, webinars that you can attend, both remote and in person.
Cloud Customer Connect, right? You
Cloud
can
Customer Connect
access
is
a
a
lot of it there.
great
Mm-hmm.
resource. So they've done an amazing job of really providing a lot of comprehensive information, and they're making a lot of investments in educating customers, both new and old, around it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they came to New York City a few weeks ago on site and supported a couple-hour presentation directly to our customer. So that's a really good area to go explore. I think, when it comes to our practice and our abilities, obviously reaching out to Proficient and the Oracle ERP business unit, we have a lot of information. We have a lot of presentations, workshops that we can provide a customer that's focused on modern technology, including AI. We've done a lot of those kind of presentations. We do a lot of webinars to help educate, and we spend a lot of time with customers just explaining things, educating them, and defining how it's relevant to them. So obviously our resources are all certified on AI. We spent a lot of time investment in getting ramped up and getting ahead of it. We'll be at the show here in 2 weeks, AI World, and be out there, further drinking from that fire hose and just staying ahead of it. So we're spending a lot of time, as I mentioned earlier, spending a lot of time with customers right now, educating them on the capabilities and the modern technology that's available, including AI. And we're providing a lot of workshops and webinars, spending time with them, walking them through it, having them get to see it. We have prototypes running in our environment so we can demo it quickly. And really, as I mentioned, helping customers define what their use cases are and prioritize them through a roadmap.
So I understand that Perficient is exhibiting at AI World this year.
We are.
So they can, if they're attending AI World, they can come and see you there.
Absolutely.
AI World is October 13th through the 16th, 2025. We will link in the show notes Perficient ERP and Oracle so that folks can go and take a closer look and a deeper dive into all of that information. So is there anything else that we want to tell everyone today?
I just say, look, it's a real exciting time. I've been doing this for 25 years, and I thought, 15 years ago when Oracle released their cloud-based platform, that was going to be, the biggest kind of compelling event of my career. And no, this right now is the most compelling time of my career in terms of ERP transformation, innovation. And it's coming out, like I said, I keep saying this, fast and furious. So it's very exciting. Our team is very energized around it. Our customers are very energized. I think sometimes, they're trying to get, caught up and keep pace, but they're very excited about it. And it's very compelling to their business, their operations. There is true hard ROI that are tied to the ability to use AI and improve and automate business processes. I mean, and Oracle's done a fantastic job of kind of prioritizing their agents to be in areas that are relevant for most customers, right? Month-end close is a great example. They've now got an agent that's going to assist with month-end close. Well, every company, regardless of industry, has to close their books. So, it's a real exciting time. It's a little overwhelming because it's coming out so fast, but it's a real exciting time, and I think it's energized our team. They're excited about this new technology, and our customers are much more focused on how do I leverage this new stuff versus, how do I just maintain my system, my ERP platform, right?
Right. Exactly. Well, Stuart, I really appreciate you coming and sharing all this with us today. I've really enjoyed having a chat with you. Hopefully we can get you to come back and talk to us again.
The pleasure is all mine.
Thank you again for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for tuning in to Decoded Dialogues. If today's insights sparked ideas or questions, we'd love to hear from you. Connect with us on LinkedIn or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a review to help others discover the power of Oracle and ERP. And until next time, keep decoding the future. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.